Hi, I'm Jasmine Florence Moore. I'm the president of Phenix City, Russell County, Local Unit 5050 of the NAACP. It is a pleasure to welcome you to a political forum where you'll get the opportunity to hear from our candidates that are seeking positions within our city as well as our county. It's important for you to realize that the NAACP is a nonpartisan organization. We are here to support voter registration, voter mobilization, and voter education. Take an opportunity to listen and learn. Please also remember that your vote is your voice. Keep in mind that your participation in the U.S. Census 2020 is very crucial. It impacts our schools, both Phenix City and Russell County school districts. It impacts the seats that are held by all of the constituencies in our district and in our city. Please complete your census. You have until October to do so. It can be done online or using the paper version.
Well, thanks for joining us today. We will be speaking with our elected officials for the city, our mayor and the city council, those that are candidates for re-election, as well as those that are running to be elected. At this time, I want to ask our illustrious mayor to state his name and anything else you want to tell us.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me here today. And I would like to say hello to everyone out there in Phenix City. My name is Eddie Lowe. I am the mayor of Phenix City, positively Phenix City, Alabama. And I'm really having a great time and having fun. And I'm just grateful to be able to be the mayor to really serve people of our community.
Okay, well, great. Now, this is your third time. The third time's a charm, they say. So we know that you've done some outstanding things here already. Mm-hmm. So we're looking forward to even more. But just tell us about some of the accomplishments that you all have made.
Well, one of the things we have, the city has really progressed, and it's a team. It's a team. Mm-hmm. It's a team of us, and it's important that we do things for the right reason. Mm-hmm. And as I've always stated, when you get in this gig or any leadership position, particularly in the political arena, no one should be making decisions based on their self-interest or their self-desires. Mm-hmm. In fact, you have to come last. It always has to be about the people that you are serving. Mm-hmm. And I'm grateful to do that. And in doing that, we have a great team. As you know, or may know, that out of all the candidates, we have 4 that is unopposed. Mm-hmm. And you know, you want to look at that twofold. Some of it may be because of the environment that we're in, but we also have to feel and believe in our hearts that hopefully most of the people see that this team has done an outstanding job. And some of those accomplishments, and the main thing that we have to do is make sure financially we're on solid ground. Now, we all know that can ebb and flow, but when you look at our credit rating, when you look at our reserve and the number of days of operating funds we have from our reserve, and that's been up as high as 140, and we probably right now still over 130, which is very strong. Most cities is to be at 90, but most of them run around 60. So when you look at it from a financial standpoint, which is the first responsibility of any council, is to make sure they're stewards of the money, because we have to make sure that we are creating an environment, that we are creating where we can have and create a quality of life for people. And as we all know, that takes money. So I'm very proud of what we've done financially as far as our credit rating. We have been able to, because of our strong credit rating of AA minus, which is the same as the state, we've been able to refund some of our bonds up to our net present saving value of $10 million. Because of our credit rating and how we are doing financially, we were able to save taxpayers money, and we were able to refund up to, again, over $10 million, which is saving for our citizens for our present value savings of what we've done. Other things we've done, a lot of opportunities as far as the growth. I think everybody can see of some of all the new businesses that has occurred here in Phenix City within the last 4 years, and we are on the cusp of right now of other businesses that are coming here. Unfortunately, I can't reveal it because of confidentiality.
Okay.
But you know, we want to do all of that to create a quality of life for people, and it takes money. And we're so grateful that we've been able to do that. But one of the things that we wanted to do is to create inclusion in our community, in our city, which I believe wholeheartedly when you create inclusion for everyone, it brings diversity, but it also brings strength. And that's one of the mantras that we really focused on and look at doing. And because, you know, we are the leadership of all people in this community, in Phenix City. And I think people should be able to see that where in every district there are movement and growth and businesses taking place. So we're very proud of that.
Yes, we are. And you mentioned earlier that there are 4 seats that are unopposed. So that shows that you all are doing well. You're making the right choices and right decisions for the citizens, and that's just awesome.
And we hope so, and we hope that people see that, and we're going to believe that's why 4 of us are not opposed.
Okay, and I've heard you mention state of art event center that
Yes.
that is one. So what are some of your goals for your next upcoming years?
One of the reasons why I want to run, we are still in the embryonic stage of this. We were able to purchase 23 plus minor acres of land that's in a great location. It's off of and I'm bad with the street now. I'm a landmark guy, so don't forgive me if
You're down the road.
I'm a landscape guy, but I'm not a person with streets. But we were able to purchase 23 plus minus acres of land. Great site. It's on the corner. If you going down Broad, and you continue to go down Broad, and where you turn left going across the Overthorpe Bridge.
Yes.
As you come down that way, and if you turn left and you get down going across to Oglethorpe Bridge, you look to your left, it's a corner lot there, and it's about, and this is me, and I could be wrong, it's anywhere from 30 to 50 feet high. It's a great view of Columbus. It's a great view that will stick out, and we want to name it the Positively, because again, we rebranded our city Positively Phenix City, so we want to call it the Positively. And I know a lot of people, some people have said that we don't really need a place because of our Columbus. Well, this will only enhance this region in Columbus and Phenix City. We're in the embryonic stage of it. We've done the environmental phase 1 and phase 2. That has come back. I will say this, that we have people, organizations from all over the country, as far as California to New York, that wants to be a part of this. And we're grateful for that because, you know, we're the 12th largest city in the state of Alabama, and we do not have a place where you can sit 300 people. And we're the 12th largest city, so, you know, there's nothing like having your own.
Right.
So Phenix City needs something that will enhance not only Phenix City, but it will also enhance Columbus, which is, we're one region. And we have people from Texas, California, New York that wants to be a part of it. It's going to take, you know, 2-3 years, but we want to get it started. We've purchased the land, we own it, and we're just going to create, hopefully, an environment or an avenue where we can help increase the quality of life for our people in Phenix City.
That's outstanding. And you know, our numbers are growing in Phenix City, and I guess the landscape of the city itself is changing, and we do have to offer those kind of things.
Well,
you are doing a great job with that.
You have to, you can't, if you're not growing and changing and revamping your history, you know, history is very important, and we know the history of Phenix City. But we use that to revamp our history because we're a city of, you know, I know we're at 36,000, and with this census that is taking place, which the environment probably has caused some people not to put as much tension on that because of the environment, the virus. But I would think and hope and believe that we can be up close to 40,000 people. So when you look at that, being the 12th largest city in the state of Alabama, we need to be able to have things that we can call our own, and that's where we wanted to come up with this event center. Now, again, what I hang my hat on and the rest of the council, with us being the 12th largest city, we have no place where you can sit 300 people to have an event. So we wanted to change that, and I know it's, everybody probably don't agree with it, but I can tell you this, there's nothing like having your own. So Phenix City needed its own place where we can have a nice event and also bring people together, but also make money from it.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Also, the revenues from that.
Yes.
I mean, that, really, because we take a lot to Columbus. We spend a lot of money over there.
Exactly, but it will only enhance this
Yes,
region,
it would.
Columbus and Phenix City.
It would. So, are there any other hidden or quiet
again,
projects that we have
because
going
of
on?
confidentiality,
Yes.
I'm limited in what I can say. I will tell you, as you know, Renfro's opened on the 24th of June, so it's been there over a month. It's an undeserved area that we really needed it, and I will say this, and I was saying within the next 4 to 5 years, that area will be changed completely, won't look the same, but right now within 2 to 3 years, and we have several things that we've already signed on the dotted line there as far as coming. Again, the event center is something, and one of the areas that we're really focusing on trying to get it jump started is right in downtown, where we have the entertainment district.
Okay.
And we're focusing on that, and we're trying to get some jump start of that because that is right in the entertainment district, and once we get that jump started, which we're working on very diligently and hard, that's going to only enhance that entire area. So we have a lot of moving parts of things right now. I wish I can go into details,
Yes.
but confidentiality we can't. But we have signed on the dotted line with some businesses. I will tell you, out 80 by Walmart, we've already signed some deals there with some businesses coming out there. So as I stated, and this is what we all need to be proud of, in every district we have things going on. And that goes back to everyone have to be included to bring the strength of our community and our city, and that's what we're doing.
Okay. Now let me see, this is your third time you're running unopposed. We've had growth in Phenix City, and our city is positive and looking good. So now, how do you expect to continue to build the relationships in the community that you've built, since we have new people coming in and all?
Well, first of all, to get the right person, you have to be the right person. And for us to continue this growth, we have to be the right city from the leadership standpoint to get people to want to come here. And I think we have done that. But that can ebb and flow. You have to always move that because, again, at the end of the day, we want growth, which equates to money, which can equate to a better and stronger credit rating, which will create a quality of life for people. And what we have to do, first of all, we have to continue to be engaging. We have to continue to follow the model that we've created as far as inclusion and diversity that brings us strength. We have to continue to be proactive with that. We have to hit things head on. Now, is everything perfect? No, it's not. Are there areas that we have weaknesses in? Yes, it is. But even though we can sometimes not see that, we have to rely on people of this community to let us know in a positive way, not in the position of a lot of people that I've experienced want to catch you. Well, yeah, we can all fumble and we can all make mistakes. But what I hope people in this community see that this leadership team, this council, we are doing things for the right motives, and we have to continue to engage people. But if we fumble and make a mistake, I can tell you this, it was not intentionally. And if we do that, we can admit it, and we can learn from it and try not to do it again. But the motives from our hearts is pure and wholesome. So, you know, I know people always want to say, I got you, I catch you.
Oh, yes.
But we want you to be a part of the solution.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of things out there that needs improving, which it takes money. I believe that we have identified most of those. Sometimes you will miss them. That's why we have to rely on the community in forthrightness to let us know so we can try to combat it. If we can't, then we're going to tell the truth and say at this time we can't. This would cost X amount of dollars, and hopefully we can get to that. And one of the things, Janet, that I'm so proud of is that, you know, we've started the State of the City. It is so important that people know where their money is going, because we're stewards. And we've started that, and that's a highlight for this council and for me, because we bring out everything. We let people know in this community, because it's their money, where their money is going, where our strengths are, where our weaknesses are, where we can have some threats and where we can have some things that we have to really deal with that's going to be tough. It's important that we always be forthright with people in our community, because it's their money. So when we do the State of the City, we try to bring everything out where people can see and where people can ask questions. Because again, we work for them. And the first thing we have to do is be stewards of their money to make sure we are creating and trying to create that quality of life for them.
That's great. And you know, I don't have to be partial, because I know that you are running on a poll, so I can say that we have, you know, you came in on being transparent, and you've certainly done that at the city, and we appreciate that. And when I come to council meetings or state of address or anything, it's just you all have it all laid out there with no hidden agendas and no secrets, and we can appreciate that in this city.
And as leaders, you have to do that, because, you know, in the environment, a lot of people don't trust the government. But I can tell you this, it doesn't have to be the way that a lot of people say it has been or it is. It's not like that. We have a great team. We do everything forthright. Yes, when we fumble, yes, but we try to be as transparent as possible. And now I will tell you, there are people that try to use that against you, transparency, but they can get anything they want. If they want it, we can show it to them. And because that shows our faithfulness as what we're doing for our citizens.
Thank you. Well, thank you so very much, and I congratulate you on another 4 years, and hopefully 4 after and 4 after.
And I am having fun. Now, we don't know about that, but we'll talk about that. But we do want to be able to get some things done that we have in the embryonic stage.
Yes,
so again, for the people of Phenix City.
Well, thank you so much for taking your time out.
My pleasure. Thank you all for having me.
And we enjoyed you. Thank you. Okay, and now we have the pleasure of interviewing another of our incumbents. Would you state your name, position, and the district you're running for?
My name is Griff Gordy. I am currently council member at large, and I'm running again for council member at large.
Okay, and at large meaning?
Citywide. Everybody in the city can vote for that position. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you have a top position next to the mayor, huh?
That's right.
Okay, so why did you decide to run for re-election?
Well, I feel like that the current city council, we've done some good things for the city. You know, the mayor always talks about positively Phenix City, and talking's one thing, but putting things into action is a different thing. And over the past 4 years, I feel like the city has grown tremendously, and you've seen a lot of progress. You know, with the Renfros going in on Highway 431, which has been a huge project that we've been able to help complete, and you just see development in all areas of the city, south side and the District 2 in the downtown area, moving out towards Highway 80, and also in the north side of Phenix City. And I think that we want to continue to build on that. And as a citizen of Phenix City, I take pride in the projects that we've completed, but also in the goals that we have, you know, moving forward as well.
Okay. Now tell us about some of those goals that you have as a city council member.
You know, as a city council member, what I want to do is I want to serve the people, and you know, I want to do what our citizens feel like is best for our city. You know, and one thing I've learned as a council member is you're not always going to satisfy everyone. You know, something one person might like, another person is not going to like, and that's part of the position that we're in. But you know, we try to listen to constituents, listen to our citizens, and then decide what we feel like is going to be best for the city as a whole. And that's one thing I love about the council that I'm on is we don't, we're going to try to do what we feel like is best for the city. And some of the things that moving forward we want to do is we want to continue to develop the city and see it grow, because the more growth you have, the more possibility you have for people who want to move to Phenix City, and tax dollars coming in, which creates revenue for the city. And all of that is great for the improvement of the quality of life for our city. And we have some things that we want to continue to grow. If you look at Renfro's on 431, there's a lot of land around where Renfro's is that can be developed, and that can be a big area for some tax dollar income coming in for our city. And we're excited about that because it's something that's been a long time coming, and it's something that has really been needed, down 431 in that area.
Okay, yeah, and that's District 3.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now, the mayor and the others have mentioned about the facility, the state-of-the-art event center that you all are proposing to build. So, what are you?
I love the idea. I love the location that we have. We've already got a location. It's one of those things that you're excited about and you want to talk about, and I do like to talk about it, but it's one of those things that it's going to take some time. It's one of those things where you've got to make sure that we've got everything right, but it's definitely needed in Phenix City. We need something like that for events, whether it's for school events or social events or concerts or whatever we need that area. It's something that the city has needed for a long time, and we were fortunate to find this land, which is a beautiful location for a civic center for us, and it's one of those things that we do want to see move forward. It's one of those things as a council member and as a citizen, we'd like to see it up in 2 years from now, but we also understand that there's a lot that goes into that you've got to do the right things to make it work to make sure that it's working and the progress is done properly.
Okay.
It's definitely exciting though, for sure.
Yes, it is very exciting. We're looking forward to that. As I know you all usually collaborate when you talk about different projects in different areas. Is there a particular need or something that you've seen in maybe one of the other districts or something that you would like to bring to the attention as far as being a goal for the next 4 years?
Well, there's one thing in particular that's near and dear to my heart that I'll share with you, that we've talked about it. We've passed a resolution probably about a year ago that spoke on this matter, but there's something called the Miracle League, which is I'm a sports guy anyway, but the Miracle League it's a sports league or baseball league for special needs kids. And there's nothing like that, not only in Phenix City, but in Columbus, in this surrounding area. And it's a project that I've worked closely with the city manager with and the Parks and Rec director with. And it's something that we see over the next 4 years is something that we can get to the point where we can get that open. And it's something that I think for our community is exciting for all districts, because it's going to be something that all our special needs kids can participate in.
Okay, so it's going to be like a league itself, or is it going to be a facility?
It's the league itself. It's an entity. Like if you look around, other cities have these.
Okay.
But the place that we're looking at putting it is in Lakewood Park,
okay,
which you already have a coach pitch league there. So the kids will be they're kind of included in the other kids that are playing ball there. So there's an area there, the land there where we can develop that, and we're working on getting the developments of the design for the field, for the baseball field, because you have to have a specific field with certain turf where you might have special needs that have wheelchairs, but they can move around on that field and they can participate. You also one thing we want to see is a playground that's kind of associated with that ballpark that has the turf where special needs kids can play on the playground. So we've got a great area for it. It's in a great location because it's where they're included with the other kids that are playing sports as well, and it's something that we're excited about because it's been a long time coming for special needs kids, for something that they can use, and we've seen the success that it has brought to other cities as well.
That's awesome. That is awesome. We're glad that you're focusing on that, and I know that you all will bring that to fruition. Okay, so my last question is, I know you all have you've built a lot of relationships throughout, and by you being at large, and you've dealt with all of the different districts and all. How do you plan to continue building relationships in the community, knowing that we're growing and people are coming in and, businesses and all. What is something that you plan to do to continue with the relationships?
Just to get involved in all areas of the city. And it's difficult sometimes as a business owner, and also I have a family with 3 boys. It's hard to find that extra time sometimes, but it's one of those things where I love this city and I want to see our city grow. One of the biggest areas that I feel like we want to work on in the next 4 years has a lot to do with what's going on in our world today. We've talked a lot about social injustice and racial injustice, and I was able to participate in the Unity Walk that we had. And from that, we've had talks about ways that we can continue to bring our community together, and it's a platform that needs to be addressed. It's something that we don't need to pay attention to when something happens, like the George Floyd incident. Definitely that needs to bring things to our attention, but we don't need to let it fall down. A lot of times we'll have the Unity Walks, and then all of a sudden things fall back to normal, and we don't think about things like that. And one of the goals that we have is to keep that at the forefront and use that as a way to bring our community together, and we're working on ways that we can continue to do that.
Okay, great. That's great. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule.
You're welcome. I'm sorry that I was late. If the mayor was here,
okay.
he'd have me running wind sprints, right?
Yeah, that's right.
If you're late, you run wind sprints. So luckily for me,
okay,
he's gone.
he's gone. So we won't tell him. We'll keep it. It'll be our little
That's
secret. Okay, well, thank you again, and we look forward to the next 4 years with
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, our next candidate, which is for the City Council. Would you state your name, position, and district you're a candidate for?
I'll be glad to. I'm Steve Bailey, running for re-election, District 1. I was elected 4 years ago in 2016, and decided I would like to run again. Our city is, moving forward in positive ways, so I was very excited to get this opportunity to run again, and my business allows me to by being self-employed, so that's why I decided to do it one more time.
Okay, great. And I see you've done a good job because you're not opposed this time, huh? How do you feel about that?
Mixed feelings. Everybody should have an opportunity to advance in something that they would like to do. Not that I was hoping for a bunch of people to run against me, don't get me wrong. I do like the opportunity that the people are satisfied, it appears, with the way our city government's going. I do feel good that, personally, that I've did my best. But also, I do believe this COVID-19 pandemic has had something to do with people not knowing what the uncertainty of it is. In the past, you knock on doors, you go to ball fields. We have 4th of July celebrations at the river down here, and we you hand out water and you meet people and talk to people. But as we know, that can't be done anymore. And so if you're brand new to the scene, it may be that you felt like you had a disadvantage, and maybe you did. So I'm just thankful that I am running unopposed, but I am not thankful if it's because of the pandemic. That I would have rather ran against 20 people if we had normal times than to think that the pandemic actually played a part of me running unopposed. But I hope it's because I did a good job and the people were satisfied.
Okay. All right. And what are some of the accomplishments that you all have made being a member of the City Council for the last 4 years?
I guess the biggest thing is, in my opinion, is we've worked equally well together for all 3 districts. In District 3, we was able to secure a grocery store, Renfro's, and a whole new avenue for probably 20 more businesses to be added into that part of town. And gracious knows it was time for that part of town to, be moving forward, especially with the necessities of a grocery store. I mean, that's just basic necessities.
Yes,
that's nothing special. But it is something that it is special when you don't have the availability for certain things. We've worked well in the middle of town. I would like to see us, work a little harder in District 2 in the downtown redevelopment area. And I know that's coming with time. But also up in District 3, I've been real pleased. We were able to get a sewer line issue that we're working on now taken care of up on Bridgewater Drive. and also was able to put in a sewer line to feed all the way out to Glenwood, which means one day, eventually in the future, probably won't be in my time on the council, and there's no problem with that, the city can afford to grow, further north. And I do look for that to be the area that if we're ever going to have major stores, and this is no disrespect to any part of the city, but if you're ever going to have major stores, you're going to have them between Columbus and Auburn. That's just a normal. They're even going to be in Smith Station. But we're not trying to stop anybody else's growth. We want Phenix City to grow. So, I'm excited about the possibilities of that one day in the future, of our city moving further north and expand further north, and we have the opportunity to take advantage of some of that good property out on 280 and 431, 4-lane, and going out Somerville Road. There's a lot of potential out there. So, and luckily that's the district that I represent. So naturally, where my heart is in that, and it's supposed to be. That is the people that I represent the whole city. But I was voted in to represent District 1. So I have to keep District 1 at the heart of everything that I do. And then I can vote everything else that's good for the city. And most of our votes are. Very few of our votes are different, but very few of our votes are not good for whatever part of town we're talking about, whether it's as a whole or as a particular district. So we work real well together, and I've just been pleased with that.
Okay. Well, keeping that in mind, what are some goals that you've established for the next 4 years that will benefit the citizens?
Yeah. Well, I mentioned one while ago, the downtown redevelopment. Columbus is slowly but surely running out of property downtown to continue to move on the river. And Phenix City has just got an untapped resource on the river, from all the way from Troy State University all the way down here to the Brickyard. And it's just a large area. And it's an area that can be developed, and it can be brought into the way that Columbus has developed theirs, to where you could go from the 13th Street driving bridge, 14th Street walking bridge, all the way down to Dillingham, and make a circle through from each side of the river. And come to shops, boutiques, restaurants. Just it's unlimited what could happen. And I know that it's going that direction, and I do look for that to happen in the next 4 years. And I'm just tickled to death that I can be part of that once the Bradley Company and some of them come over here and start working on the plaza and everything. It's all going to fall into place, and we can finally one day have a downtown. Look here, I'm almost 67 years old. And when I was young, my parents said, "You want to go downtown?" I knew where we were going. We were going to Columbus.
Okay.
They said, "You want to go to the plaza?" I knew where we was going, to Phenix City Plaza. Nothing wrong with that. But I would love to hear my grandchildren say, "Let's go downtown." And they're talking about Phenix City. That's what I'm looking forward to. That's what I hope to see. And I believe we'll see it within 4 years. I truly do. And I would like to work in the direction that we've been aiming on a new civic center over here for Phenix City. A lot of people talk to us, ask us why we need one in Phenix City, because Columbus has a trade center, civic center, different things. But we're Phenix City, Alabama. We don't have to rely on Columbus for everything. Nothing wrong with Columbus, not against Columbus growing. If Columbus grows, Phenix City grows. Phenix City grows, Columbus is going to grow. Same way with Smith Station. I'm not against anything there, but we should promote our own. Not too long ago, I don't know how the census is going to come out, but not too long ago, we were the 12th largest city in the state of Alabama. Now, the 12th largest city in the state of Alabama should have some things that the other large cities have.
That's true.
And civic centers, much smaller than Columbus's, but able to handle some things. That's part of our downtown development. It'll be on the other end of the spectrum from the plaza. So get those done and start moving into the middle. And let Phenix City move forward for the next 100 years. It's come a long ways. It's got a lot further to go, but it'll get there if we work that way.
It will, yes. And we appreciate all that you all are doing in that manner. So how do you expect to continue to build relationships within the community?
The same way I have over the last 4 years. When people call me, I look into every aspect of what they ask me. I always talk to them respectfully, even if I disagree with what they're fixing to ask me, even if I know where they're headed with it, and I already know what the answer is going to be. I still respect their right to ask me that. I respect their right to get an answer, and I their right for a truthful answer to be given to them. So I really see that you just continue to build the same relationship you've had. And, you know, for the lack of a better way to look at it, all of us can improve. There has to be ways I can improve, and I guarantee you, when my wife sees this on TV, she's going to say, well, you talk like a hillbilly, you rambled. So I know I can improve, don't get me wrong. But I still believe people basically have to trust each other. And I still come from the old way of looking at things, and I may be foolish, but I still believe there's more good in this world than there is evil in this world. And I just believe as long as you keep that inside of you and that attitude inside of you to help people, and you want to help people, and you try to help people, try to find a way to make it work rather than a way to stop it from working. And I truly believe that, and I was raised that way by my parents, and I've had that same attitude for 48 years at my business where I work. And I just believe that, you know, that's what you do, is you continue to build relationships based on trust, love, and caring for each other. And Lord knows, if we had a little more of that in this world right now, we wouldn't have a lot of stuff going on that's going on in this world. So, you know, I just don't know other way. I'm like the mayor on that. Take the high road. Let everybody else take the low road. Take the high road. You know, believe in each other. And I believe in the council. I really do. We've worked well together. We've disagreed, but we've never disagreed with distrust with each other. We disagreed because we had different opinions. Right. And I'm probably the one that has voted different more than anybody else. But I voted the way I felt it should be voted. I represented the people the way I felt they should be represented. And I feel like they were satisfied with it. And that's one reason I, you know, running unopposed.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming in and interviewing with us, and we've enjoyed you, and we hope that to see you do continue to move the city forward in the next 4 years, and maybe the next 4 after that. Who knows?
Well, you don't ever know, but look ahead. Sometime you have to have, eventually, change is good. It really is. And I've enjoyed it, and nobody knows what anything will be. That's for sure. Yeah. But I have enjoyed the first 4 years. I look forward to 4 more years. And but I just look forward to Phenix City continue to move forward, Phenix City to continue to grow, but Phenix City to continue to grow together, not apart, but together. And all of us advance. All 3 districts advance. Every person in Phenix City advance to what, you know, is duly theirs. Living in such a wonderful country, a wonderful state, a wonderful city. My goodness, it's hard to get better than that.
That's right.
But I thank you for having me. Sure do.
And we are here to welcome one of our incumbent city council members. Would you state your name, your position, and the district that you are presently serving?
Yes. I am Vickey Johnson, and I represent the 2nd District on City Council here in Phenix City.
Okay. Tell us why you've chosen to run for re-election for this position.
It was very important for me to continue the great works of moving the city forward. So with that being in mind, I was always very optimistic about continuing to be a source of revenue and a resource in our community. You know, the key aspect of my campaign was the connection that I have with the community. I have always been accessible and very flexible and very progressive when it comes to serving in the community. And so I wanted to continue doing that. And we have a lot of great things that are happening in Phenix City. And it's so important that I continue to hear the needs of our citizens. And so that's what made me want to continue to be a member of the Phenix City Council.
Okay, and we've had the mayor here, and he talked about some things that had been done, but tell us some of the accomplishments that you've been a part of since you've been on the City Council.
We have made a lot of progress within our community. And some of the accomplishments that have taken place since my tenure has been resurfacing many roads, to include 16th Avenue, 24th Street, which is a long one as well, ADA accessible paving. So we've had a chance to continue with that. we've had a lot of retail economic development also in the district, to include Planet Fitness that came, Roses that is now opening, and many acreage of ongoing retail establishment out Highway 80. So that would be a very huge project that is going to upcome. And also the renovation and the upgrade at the Central Activity Center. That was one that many of our senior citizens really needed, and that is so widely used by everyone in Russell County. So we wanted to make sure that that was a comfortable place for them. So some of that, the aligning of the bridge on the Riverwalk, the art park was another major initiative that I worked on as well. We've advocated for a lot of revenue to come to our community, and that was one of the major projects that I was instrumental in doing also. So a lot of these was done with matching grants as well. So saving the city millions of dollars in revenue. And so it was just, again, one of those things that I wanted to continue working on for our citizens in Phenix City.
Yes, okay, that's wonderful. That's outstanding. You know, we have seen so much growth, and it seems like it's been such a short period of time. It's hard to believe it's been 4 years.
Well, actually, it has not completely been 4 years, but we are seeking 4 years for additional years.
Right.
My first election was a special election after the passing of Council Member Dr. Robertson. And so this November will be 3 years actually.
3 years.
And so yes, so I was sworn into office on January 4th of 2018 and have been serving faithfully and persistently since then.
Okay, wonderful. So now, what are some of the goals that you've kind of established for the next 4 years that will benefit the citizens of Phenix City?
You know, the next 4 years is going to be very critical in the means of re-landscaping Phenix City. Phenix City has just applied for a grant of $250,000 with a matching grant of $25,000 to help with blighted areas, homes in our community. So that is one of my major initiatives, is to help re-landscape Phenix City. So I will be instrumental in doing that, as well as the acreage, multiple acreage that we have already purchased, the city have already purchased on Colin Powell Parkway. I am going to propose the build of a state-of-the-art convention center. Okay. And that is something that is so needed in our community. We continue to find ways to exercise our graduation. Over the past, 2-3 years, we've gone to Columbus, and of course, during the pandemic, we did have one this year for our students at Central High School over in Phenix City. But major concerts, major business conventions, entertainment, that is something that is so needed in Phenix City, and it has been expressed by our citizens in Phenix City. So that is one of the top projects that I want to propose here in Phenix City. Another one that we're going to do is just continue to increase economic development, to increase our job. We have not had a major impact when it comes to revenue loss in the city, but job loss overall has been hit the hardest. So we want to continue to make sure that we have those establishments investing in those private industries to come to Phenix City with manufacturing jobs that will have our citizens, apply for those, and the minimum wage will be, substantial. We're talking 14 and above for these manufacturing jobs. So increased economic development is so important that we do that, as well as promote improvement, continue improvement in our infrastructure here in the city. Once again, in District 2 is known as one of the oldest part of Phenix City. And so we have a lot of road improvements and just infrastructure, period, that needs upgrading. The city has partnered with a company to do an assessment of all the roads in Phenix City, so not just District 2.
Okay.
So we want to look at Phenix City overall to make sure that we are getting the repairs that is needed throughout Phenix City. But yes, District 2 is one of the oldest part of the city, and so a lot of that has to be improved for our citizens in years to come. Another one I would like to do, I have what we call a 7-point plan, and that was my first 3. But the next one is to enforce policies to ensure the safety of all of our citizens, because we know how important life is. And every life matters. But life would not matter if Black lives don't matter. And so we want to make sure that every citizen is treated equally among the law. And so we want to continue to make sure that those policies have to be looked at, revamped, and enacted upon the citizens here in Phenix City. So that is very important. I want to continue interaction with our school system, continue to be engaged in our school system, and to strengthen our educational system, because we know how important education is. And so I have always been a hands-on parent when it comes to my children in school, and I'm still a hands-on parent because right now I'm in the process of being the contact of an individual student who grandparent, he lives with his grandparent, is not able to, communicate with the school system via technology because she is not technologically inclined. And so I have stepped up and offered to help in that way. And that's, it just warms my heart to know that there's people out there that look for someone to do that.
Yes.
And so it is important to me to be able to assist. And I know there's a lot of other educators out there, and I know you're an educator yourself, but it is important to know that we continue to strengthen our educational system, because we want to make sure that we continue to have the best school system here in Phenix City. So yes, I am going to continue advocating on the strengthening of that, as well as enhancing the quality of life for all of our citizens. I know I have been in Phenix City practically all my life. And so I have seen a lot of things come, I have seen a lot of things go. I have seen our city transform into this positively Phenix City that it is today. And it's so important for me to keep that going for you, for our children, and for generations to come. And so some of the things that we weren't privileged to having when we were growing up, we want to make sure, want to make sure that is for our children. So again, increasing the quality of life, making sure that they have adequate health care, adequate school system, adequate living, and being safe in their community. It is so important to me.
Okay, you sound like the woman with the plan. Oh, that's great. That's great. So you're going to have a full another 4 years.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
So now, how do you expect to continue building the relationships that you all have in the community as the community is growing and different people are moving here in different industries and different businesses? How do you expect to continue to build relationships with the community?
Staying connected, that is the key. I don't want to assume that we have relationships and partnerships. I want to go out there and create those relationships and partnerships. So staying connected and flexible and being open to ideas is one of the most important aspects of my tenure. And I want to continue to build upon that.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming in and sharing with us and your roadmap for success for our next 4 years, and we wish you much success.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak with you and my constituents. It has been a pleasure serving the community. I am very blessed, and I thank the citizens for allowing me to be a voice for them. Again, it is so much that is happening in Phenix City, and there are so many needs that needs to be met in Phenix City. And so I am here for those constituents that want to make sure that their voices are heard, to make sure that their streets are safe, to make sure that they have a nice grocery store to go to, and adequate pharmacy for medicine and such. Healthcare is so important. So we want to make sure that all those things that make a better quality of life, we want to make sure that it happens right here in Phenix City. We want to continue to create those opportunities for our citizens to, if they go off to college, they want to be able to come back and have a place to work, live, and worship right here in Phenix City. And so we've educated our students off, and they go out and they make careers, but we want to make sure that they got something to come back home to and give back to their community, which is so important.
Oh, that is awesome. Thank you. And we're here with another candidate. Could you state your name, the position, and the district you're a candidate for, please?
Jasmine Lawrence. I am seeking District 2 City Council.
Okay, thank you. So now tell us why you've chosen to run for this position and what your platform is.
Well, I personally have been involved in the private sector with feeding people and helping people through a lot of community outreach projects through various organizations. And throughout the corona crisis, it has elevated the process even more. And through becoming more involved and getting to know more about the citizens of District 2, I believe that I will be a great representation for District 2 because I have the ability to understand and maneuver in a way that allows me to honor the rich history of our city, but to also look for the bright future. And hopefully I can be a great and instrumental part in making sure that their future is even brighter than we expect.
Okay. And what is your platform? You got a certain slogan or something that you are running on?
Well, the slogan for the campaign is "She wins, we win." And that's because anything that has benefited me personally has benefited my community as a whole. I have always taken whatever resources I have available and saw fit to make sure that those around me were in a better position because of my presence.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so what experience do you bring to the City Council that would be that would benefit the citizens of Phenix City?
I bring a more human touch, a more direct human touch. Since the age of about 12, I have been involved in community service projects, whether it's been tutorial programs, feeding programs. I have been directly involved with this community as a whole, and watching it grow and watching it change. And even currently, I am a member of a leadership team for the redevelopment of the complex of Frederick Douglass and the surrounding areas. We're currently going about the process of receiving, well, I'm going to say we're receiving because we're going to speak it into fruition. We're receiving money so that we can redevelop the center of Phenix City, which is in essence the center of District 2. And in redeveloping District 2, it is also redeveloping the heartbeat of Phenix City because it is the center of our commerce and it's the center of our housing district. And by providing better housing, maybe we can attract some more young people to come in and not only just bypass here, but to live here and thrive here.
Okay, all right. So now, how do you expect to build relationships within the community? I know you say you've been working in District 2, but what about the other districts throughout the community? What are you going to do to help build relationships?
Oh, well, my reach spans far beyond that because through the feeding programs, I have gotten to go throughout the city and to meet people in different areas of the city. I originally was raised in South Phenix City, so I know a lot of people throughout the city as a whole. And through building those interpersonal relationships and better working relationships, it won't just be progress for District 2, but progress for Phenix City as a whole. So we can take that Phenix City slogan and make it a great reality for a positive future.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so very much for coming in to speak with us today.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we're joined by a candidate. Would you state your name?
My name is Floyd Teasley. I'm a candidate for City Council, District 2, here in Phenix City.
Okay, welcome. Tell us why you've chosen to run for this position and your platform as a candidate.
Well, one, I have many, many friends here in Phenix City and in the Columbus, Georgia area. And a lot of them are on Facebook. And so we talk a lot, even when I was, before I moved back to Phenix City, we talked a lot about what goes on in Phenix City, what could be done to bring Phenix City, keep it going forward, because there's been a lot of good things that have happened here in Phenix City. And some people were starting to ask me if I would consider getting into politics here, because I'm retired, and I might be able to devote more time to the residents here in Phenix City. So after thinking about it really hard, because I am retired and I was enjoying traveling, I decided that this would be a good thing. And I've always been involved in community service in one way or the other. Okay. So this kind of fulfills both needs. Okay.
All right. You have a specific platform that you're using, or?
I'm glad you asked that, because when I've been knocking doors here for about 5 or 6 months now, I'm always asked that. It's one of the first things they ask me. And I said, my platform is your concerns. So when I go, I carry a notebook with me, and I have just lots of sheets where I write down their name, their address, and what their concerns are in their neighborhood. And I've already been able to take some of these things to the city police, and they've already addressed some of these issues, which is, I mean, even though I'm not elected yet, it's still very helpful for the residents of Phenix City. So that's my platform. My platform is to represent the residents.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So now what experience do you bring to the city council that would benefit the citizens of Phenix
Other
City?
than being real old, well, I have a fairly good education. I'm not from Auburn or Alabama or Georgia, but I went to Florida State University.
Okay.
I have a
we'll
master's.
Excuse you.
I have a master's degree in counseling and human systems.
Okay.
And I helped develop what's called an alpha beta program. And it's working with at-risk youth to give them opportunities to have mentors and to succeed in school at an early age, so that perhaps they'll stay away from drugs and criminal activities. And did this throughout Leon County in Florida. And I was also a member of the student government as a student government representative. I was on the dean's list and honor roll throughout Florida State. I've been president of the Reedville PTA. I've been a lieutenant on the volunteer fire department. And I've done a lot of volunteer work with the Red Cross, including disaster relief. I helped run a tent city in Homestead, Florida after Hurricane Andrew. So I have a long history of community service, and I hope to bring a lot of the ideas I've seen in other cities to help the residents here in Phenix City.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. So how do you expect to build relationships within the community? I know you've been going out in your community, soliciting votes and everything, but what about for the entire city?
Well, actually, some of my door knocking has been outside of my district.
Okay.
And it might be a little bit selfish, because it also has a very good location for signs.
Okay.
So just because I'm in District 2 doesn't mean that these residents don't travel in the other areas of Phenix City. And so I've been out on Pierce Road and talking with residents out there. I've been all the way out Sanford Road talking with people out there. And of course, there's no way in the world I'd ever be able to intrude on Steve Bailey's district or Mr. Day's district. I mean, they're firmly in there. So, but I also, I live in the downtown area of Phenix City. I live right between the Section 8 housing areas. I live on 8th Avenue. This is not a secret, it's on every sign I have. When I knock on these doors, I give them my card, which has my email address. This is my private email address. And I ask them to email me their concerns and their wishes, and I archive these in certain orders so that I can take those types of issues to whatever department head that would be responsible for them within the city. As far as building relationships, I'm a member of the Amen Choir, which is the old people's choir that meets at Lakewood Baptist Church. I'm a member of Lakewood Baptist Church. Before I became a member there, I visited almost every church in the area. including Agape Church on 14th Street.
Oh, wow.
And Central Baptist Church, the Trinity Methodist Church, Somerville Road Baptist. But when I got to Lakewood, it was just like home, you know? And so they're good people, and that's where I've decided to make my church home.
That's wonderful. So you plan to be very transparent with
I hope so.
with the
I can't think of any other way to be.
Okay. All right. Well, wonderful. Thank you for coming in and
Thank you
joining
for having
us. And we will look forward to you being on that seat.
I look forward to working with you on getting Phenix City beautiful too.
All right. That sounds great. So you have a good day.
Thank you.
Okay, now we have another one of our incumbents. If you would state your name and the position and district that you're a candidate for.
My name is Arthur L. Day. I'm a candidate for District 3. I also serve as Mayor Pro Tem here in the city of Phenix City.
Okay. So tell us why you decided to run for re-election for your position.
I decided to run for re-election because there are many items that we have on the agenda that I like to be a part of. One of the main items is trying to accomplish building the 175-room conference center. We have already purchased the 22 acres down there on the Colin Park Parkway, and I think that's the big deal. Also, there's other issue down there on 431. You guys might not be aware of this, but there is more business coming down on 431 right there below Ranford Crosswind Parkway. We have a vendor coming there. I would not tell you at this time. I can't say, but it's on the way. And I'm excited about what happened down there on 431. A few years back, I campaigned on trying to get something on the south side of Phenix City. I never forget this story. A young older lady came up to us. She said, "Young man, you running for District 3?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "We don't have a decent grocery store or a drugstore down there on 431. I said, "Ma'am, I'll do everything in my power. I'll work with the council and whatever it takes to get something down there in South Phoenix City." And believe it or not, I've been very active in getting a Ranford grocery store down there in South Phoenix City, and we are very proud of that. I understand that I spoke with Mr. Ranford and his son, and they're getting ready to put the drugstore in, I understand, in a couple of weeks.
Wonderful.
So one of the things that I talked to a certain individual, and we want an ATM machine down there. If not a bank, then we get an ATM machine. Then there's some other businesses coming down there in that shopping center as well. Some of the things that I'm also proud of, as you know, we just finished doing a subdivision down there in District 3, about 200 houses. We paved the complete subdivision. I've gone down and rode through there and talked to some of my constituents down there. They were excited about what happened down there. You know, it looks real well, look real good, matter of fact. And when you do something like that, folks, you know, they don't mind trying to work for you and on your behalf. One of the things that I've been as a councilman for approximately 8 years. Some of the things that I've had the opportunity to serve, as you know, I served on Park, Book, and Recreation for 6 years, and I also served 9 years on the Zone Adjustment Appealing Board. I served 3 years on the Personnel Review Board. I served about 3 months on the Planning Commission. If you add those up with the 8 years I'm serving, read almost 28 years or 30 years, and during those time, each one of those time I served on a different board, they had to be certified, you know.
Great. Okay, so you bring quite a bit of experience to the city council then with all those years. So your tenure has been very successful. So now what are some other goals? You talked about the state-of-the-art facility, and you talked about the grocery store, which you've accomplished. What are some other goals that you have established for the upcoming 4 years that will benefit the citizens here?
Okay, okay. One of the goals that one of the items that we are working on right now, I don't know if you guys are aware of that, called the Miracle Park. We're working on that as we speak. We already have the property. It's going to be up in North Phoenix City there, and we're working on that, and hopefully it'll be a part of that. And one of the things that hopefully that we'll have going from our riverbank to Broad Street, we're going to call it the Entertainment District. We're working on it as well. And also, you may or may not be aware of this, but we plan hopefully that we are going to expand a new council chamber. We're in the process of doing that as phase 1, I understand. And also we're going to have quite a bit of improvement going here. As you know, we're going to also work on a museum here in Phenix City. We started working on that a few years ago, but we also going to work on that as well. One of the things, some of the things that I was proud of was the part of the Marriott Troy University building. I was there when those buildings were going up. I just came on council when those buildings were going up. I was part of that. The new parking deck, I was part of that. One of the most important things that I like and what I was a part of, if you know what 10th Avenue is, okay, for 20-some years plus, your emergency vehicle could not cross that bridge, fire truck or anything could not cross that bridge for 20+ years. And I was part of that when we replaced that bridge right at $2.9 million is what it cost. Also, the other bridge, I believe on 11th Avenue there, right around the street from there, I was part of that as well. And those bridges had had on the book, and we got the information, said they've been trying to replace those bridges for approximately 20+ years, and I was part of that as well. There's a lot of things that going on here in all 3 districts here in Phenix City, and this is something. And I'm also proud to be from Phenix City. Let me share this with all of us. I'm the only council in the history of Phenix City ever represented the city of Phenix City on the National League of Cities. And what do that mean? That means that all the cities throughout the United States, plus mayor, we come together every year in the 2nd week in November. I had the opportunity to travel, represent the city of Phenix City. And believe it or not, folks, I say this, I was talking to a councilman from California. She said, where you from? I said, from Phenix City. She said, I never heard of that. And she said, what do you do? I said, I'm a councilor. I said, what she do? She said, she's a councilor. And we started dialogue, you know, and we got some ideas from her. And that's what it's all about, going out and bringing some stuff back, some ideas from other cities. How you guys do this? What are your infrastructure? How you handle this? And these are some of the things that I brought back to the city. One of the things I want to thank the city for giving me the opportunity to do that, you know. And one other thing that I brought to Phenix City is this. It's called the Elected Fellowship Luncheon. I started that single-handed. I'm going to wag my tail on this one. I started that approximately 4 years ago, and that include, what do that mean? That include the all the state representatives, you know, that have a part of Russell County, or you elected official here in Russell County, and city official. Or if they come to this luncheon is this, well, let me put it this way. Somebody told me, he said, look here, you don't need to have that this year, so and so and going. I said, look, this is what it's all about. We got to improve relationship here between these government, the local government, which is the county, and the city government. And here's what I said to this individual. They're only going to stand, get their name, what capacity they serve in the state, city, or county government, how long they serve. I said, now after this luncheon, they can talk about anything they would like to. And that has been successful. Now, also, one other thing I've done as well, I'm on the mailing list out at Fort Bend. I had the opportunity to meet General Bruto and his wife, Michelle. And I told the general, I said, look here, I said, in my luncheon, I said, look, I said, you have soldiers in Phenix City, you have soldiers out there in Smith Station, in Russell County, Fort Mitchell. I said, why not send us a speaker? For the last 3 years, 2.5 years, 2 years, he had sent us a speaker from Fort Bend. And that's what it's got to be in the Chattanooga area. You got to have networking. You got to have, we are much stronger together. And I believe in working together. We have, of course, we're going to have some issues, but we got to come to the table and sit down and, you know, and dissolve these different issues that we have.
Okay. Yes, so that kind of answered my last question, which was how are you going to continue to build relationships? And what you mentioned was very important. We know because you've got to be able to go out and bring others into what you're trying to do to make the community better.
Yes, ma'am. That is so true. And I say this, I love people, and I love the city of Phenix City. I've served, as you know, 8 years on the Lee Russell Council government. This is my 8 years serving on the executive committee over there in Gateway. I also serve on the state board called the Association of County Council Board. And that's a state board. I serve on that board as rep. And as I said, networking and learning from other individuals, bringing back to your city. You know, there's some ideas that you never thought of. And one of the most one of the most important thing that we have when we go out to these different training is called the round table discussion. I love that because we sat there and no other person from your same city can sit at the table. So we sat there and share ideas and stuff. And you'd be surprised, the folks sitting at that table had the same issues that we have. And we just sat there and had a dialogue and try to figure out what better for, how you solve this, how you solve that. And I found that to be very effective.
Okay. And now coming back to District 3, how do you build, what are you going to do to continue to build relationships among your people here in District 3?
Well, I'm going to continue to serve the people here in District 3, and first of all, I want to thank them for allowing me to serve them. And I'm a person like this. I would go out in the community and see what can be done. If they have an issue, this is the kind of guy I am, ma'am. If they have an issue and they call me or the city call me, I return all the call. I go and see how can we solve this particular issue, this particular problem. And that's what I do. I was continue to go out among the citizens in District 3. As you know, my district very large land-wise. As you know, Ridgebrook, Mr. Forest, and Brandon, all that come under District 3. And but the thing is, I don't mind going, as I said so many times to my other colleagues, they work. I'm retired, so I'm able to go out any time during the day or whatever. And that's what I do, trying to solve these different issues, different problems.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming in. And we appreciate you taking your time out today. And it's just been great. We've enjoyed you. And just thank you so much.
One other thing I'd like to say, if you don't mind, I'd like to thank those folks for allowing me to serve these 8 years here in District 3. I want to thank them for allowing me to serve as your Mayor Pro Tem here in Phenix City. I just want to thank everyone in District 3, not only everyone in District 3, but the folks in the city of Phenix City. I always say this, everywhere I go, give an opportunity to speak. I say to the citizens of Phenix City, this is your city, this is your tax dollar. Please, ma'am, please get involved. Come to the meeting, find out what's going on. Look at the Facebook. There's a lot of things going on in Phenix City that you might not be aware of. But please, ma'am, please take the time and get involved. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We hope that you've truly enjoyed this opportunity to listen to the candidates, to learn about them. Again, we want to remind you that voter registration is important, voter mobilization, and actually getting out to vote. Voting will take place August 25th for the municipal election and November 3rd for the general election. Please vote your choice. Go vote. Thank you.